We'll call to order the November 23rd, 2021 Board of Adjustments meeting. We need a roll call of members. We have Mr. Brandon Bennett.
Present.
Mr. Eddie Kraus.
Present.
Mr. Devin Graham.
Present.
And absent is Mr. Jake Jofreon, Mr. Willie Robinson, and what's her name? Miss Darla Harris. It's been a while, she hasn't been here. Okay, well, we're gonna open the floor right now for any public comments. Anybody sign up?
Nobody signed up.
Okay, we'll close it. Public comments. Next, we need a motion to accept the minutes of the October 26, 2021 meeting.
I'll motion.
Motion by Mr. Brandon Bennett. Second by Mr. Eddie Kraus. All in favor? Motion passes. Next, we have, I need a motion for the acceptance of the written decisions for the October 26, 2021 meeting.
Motion.
Motion by Mr. Brandon Bennett. Second by Mr. Devin Graham. All in favor? Motion passes. All right, first up we have today the zoning review IDPZ-2764.21, lot A7. Let's see, who we have here to represent this? Mr. James Falgout.
James Falgout representing Mr. Doug Diaz on the following division of property, asking for a variance on the side setback for the shed on lot A7.
All right, any questions on this matter?
Yeah, you got to help me understand this one. So,
what if
you can pull it up and look at it?
Yeah, I got the map. If you look, what it is the house was built over that property line in that corner.
Wait, we're not up
Yeah,
here.
look, they got a little overhead thing for you.
There you go.
There you go. Actually, if you look where the L1 was, I'm gonna draw, the property line actually was over here to make it around the shed here, because that's where the water well was, inside that shed. And actually where the house was built, roughly 3 feet, I think it's maybe less than that, right into that house. So what we're doing is asking for a variance to move that property line a little over a foot from that shed and straighten it up going straight down. The way the house is free and clear of the property line, it's also within, it's outside of the 10-foot, which is for rural setbacks.
10 foot.
So the house will be 10 foot from the property line now.
Okay, what's the shed, that corner of that shed to the corner of the house? What's that distance?
It's roughly 11.2, 11.3, like perpendicular, I guess parallel, not angular distance, just across.
And so the shed, is that the shed?
So the shed will be, with this new line, the shed would be with the side property line would be 10, roughly about a little over a foot from the property line, but the north property line would be 10 foot away. So it's just that side line.
I gotcha. And so that home, that house that's right there on track A81, is that a new?
Oh.
The which one?
Oh, I'm sorry.
That's all right.
Do I need to?
No, you go.
Oh.
Okay.
That home in A81, is that a new home?
Yes.
Yeah. And so, and then the A8.
I mean, I'd say new, it was built within probably 6 months, I guess.
I gotcha. So when did, I guess, how'd this get caught? What brought this up?
They went to sell the house, and then that's when we realized there was an issue.
Gotcha. So A71 is currently being sold.
That house has already been bought, yes.
Gotcha.
That one's sold, and this one's in the process. They're actually waiting for this to close on the property.
Oh, okay, I understand.
So they actually will be losing a little bit of property, but they're gaining, the homeowner will be gaining a lot of property in the rear of the shed, and he's fine with all this.
And James, you said you were representing
Both parties.
both parties?
Yes.
Did you build the homes?
No.
No? Okay.
Doug Diaz too.
Okay. Gotcha.
The house was pushed a little farther back because there's some pretty trees up in the front, so they pushed it a little farther back, and when they pushed it back, that's when the air was determined.
So let me ask you, Lance, if this is denied, then what happens with the shed?
If it's denied, the shed stays, but there's an encroachment of the property line with the home. The shed meets the requirement, but the house would have an encroachment because it's, like James stated, with his the way, what he drew in is the way that the lot is now, I guess, or existing. So the home would have an encroachment into the setback, into the property line.
So, I mean, obviously the house is built.
Yes.
So then what does that mean?
I don't know. I would ask
Okay.
legal to see if there's anything with that.
If there's an encroachment, the property owner who's being encroached upon would have, legal rights against them.
Okay.
Be a civil
And
matter.
it had to be a civil matter that they'd have to reach some sort of a settlement regarding the property. Whether that be, transfer a certain portion to the other neighbor or vice versa or something.
Gotcha. I'm doing a lot of talking, which I got.
I have a question, James. What would be the harm, this might be directed towards Lance, what would be the harm in splitting up the difference? I mean, 1 foot's
Well, this way, it's, in my opinion, that the shed is not the major structure. A house is a structure, so we're getting, if you make it to the 5 foot, the house was still, with the zoning being rural,
yeah.
it's 10-foot setback from a property line.
But it,
So if you split it,
in,
you're still it's 5 foot from 5 foot.
Yeah.
So we action for 1, so if the shed ever gets torn down, then if something happens, then you can, then it'd have to be forced to be 10 foot away from it.
Isn't in some areas of the parish, city or whatever, there's like a 6-foot building?
There's a 5
side?
foot in medium intensity, but this
5
is zone,
foot.
yeah, this is zone rural. So it's 10 foot side setbacks.
You said it's a watershed?
There is a water well in
Water
there.
well?
Yeah.
Actually, I'll tell you, let me jump in.
Go ahead,
Live?
Devin.
All right, I already know a good bit about this project. There's a concrete slab inside that shed, right?
What's that?
The shed has a slab, right?
Yes.
It's on a concrete slab. I do know there's a water well in it, and then, the distance from the line you have drawn to the brick of the house, you said is how far? If you were just.
If you do an angular
Just straight
distance,
up?
you're probably looking at about, let's see, 13 feet.
13, okay. And I can tell you the shed's many years older than I am, so, the house is, where you see a house on lot 7, the house is many years old as well. The new home to the lot 8 is a complete home right now, so. And the other alternative is to let a judge decide to basically do this if we don't do anything here, or if we make an adjustment and we find it, right? That's our legal course, Mr. Long?
I'm sorry.
Or if they
repeat the question.
pursue that matter, they might
That-
not pursue that
okay.
matter, but just, they would give each one clean title.
Clean
you
titles.
know.
And from here, we still gotta go in front of planning and,
It's still gotta, yeah, we still gotta submit it to the council for approval of division of the property. So you just grant a variance allowing the reduction of the setback from really to 1 foot on that one side, just on that side. In the front, it's still 10 foot, and in the rear, it's just one side. And it's really, the overhang's a foot, so you're really looking at about 2 foot, I guess, with the 1 foot overhang.
and all the other houses that were built along this road were front load houses, and they did a J-turn, and they wanted to keep the trees, so that's the details I do know about that property.
Okay.
I guess I'm just where it's like, how is that missed along the way? I know you may not have the answer to that, but, it's just, it's just something that shouldn't have been missed, in my opinion.
I agree.
You'd be surprised how much it happens in such parish.
Fair enough.
I have a little bit of enlightenment to this, that Mr. Diaz didn't get a form, what's the word I'm looking for?
Forms, right?
Form survey on it before he poured the slab, so it was missed because he didn't do the survey.
Gotcha.
Which is not required,
Right.
but this, yeah.
Yeah,
So-
basically what happened is, we went back there and said, we'll push it back 5 feet. We don't want to cut down those trees, they're pretty.
Gotcha.
Exactly how that conversation occurred, I'm sure.
Yeah. Any other questions or comments? I guess we gotta open up for public hearing. Anybody sign up, Ms. Jamaica?
No one signed up.
Close public hearing. Any motions, any questions? I think I got one more question, and I think I asked it, but I don't think it sunk in. What would be the harm in splitting it and having, 5.5 feet each side?
Well, just the zoning is rural, so it's 10-foot setbacks on each property line.
Right.
So by moving to this, this would be 10 feet from the house.
Yeah.
Now, it wouldn't just be 10 foot from the shed. And a lot of times sheds aren't considered permanent structures and stuff like that. Like if he would have put a water well here without building a shed around it, then he could have put the water well pretty much right on the property line. It wouldn't have been considered a setback. So we're cleaning up the house engine. I mean, we can make a stipulation on here that if the shed ever gets torn down, that it has to be, 10 feet from the property line, which I think the water well is on the west side of the property anyway.
I'm gonna tell you what bothers me about that. Maybe not today, maybe 5 years from now, something, if somebody goes and, let's say this new home, they decide to build a fence down their property line, they're gonna have that much room between the fence and the shed. Whereas if you split it in between the two and have 5.5 feet, they would at least have enough room to pass a lawnmower between the shed and the fence. That's my concern.
Well, that's if you want to cut the grass. You might not want to cut the grass, just put the shit, you might work out an agreement, just tie
Right.
the fence right into the edge of the building.
Yeah.
I mean, I wouldn't want to cut the grass. I mean,
No.
it's 1 foot versus 5 foot. I mean, it's just,
Yeah,
it's
it's
useless,
just-
it's useless property to this gentleman, I would assume. I mean, it's,
It's just the
It's just 5
the
foot.
future of it, 5, 10 years from now, somebody puts a fence up there, you put 1 foot, you can't even walk between the fence and the
like I said,
shed.
both of them are in agreement to this right now. He's
Yeah,
100% fine with it. I mean, he might put up a fence tomorrow.
right.
No, Mr. Doug, he probably will put up a fence tomorrow.
That the shed
Yeah.
goes away, that the variance
So-
goes away. And I would do a
Yeah.
Because he's all in favor of getting the property to the rear of his shed, because that's where he stores his boats and stuff like that anyway, so.
Yeah, no,
So, yeah.
I think it's a good deal, I'd just like to see a little more distance than 1 foot right there.
Well, then you'd be granting variance on both properties then.
Yeah, split it between the middle.
But I'm gonna say that.
I didn't hear all of it, but
Hey, James, you think, Mr. Diaz would be in favor of doing, and better yet, actually, Lance, could we have a 5-foot private maintenance servitude on lot 8, like on a 0 lot line house? Would that be something we could do, or does that need to go in front of, is that something planning would need to do?
It needs to be shown on the plat.
Needs to be shown?
So it would have to be something that all parties would be,
Be
agreements to.
agreed to?
Agree to.
That's the only thing I had outside that would solve, what Mr. Joe Ferron was talking about was, on a 0 lot line, you have a 5-foot maintenance servitude, generally so. And I would say if we were to approve it, to say if the shed's ever removed, that this variance goes away with the destruction of any secondary structure on the property. If we can't, I don't know, can we do an expiration on it per the structure?
Yes, I believe so.
And limit to no addition?
No additional, yes.
Well, I mean, if you put up, I mean, I would prefer to go, if you lean towards that, it's let's 5 feet off the house and run the line straight all the way down, then do it that
Okay.
way then, instead of some kind of a maintenance
I'm good either way,
servitude.
I'm just trying to think of
If
other
you put up a
ways.
fence and then you, maintenance servitude is just, that's another agreement you gotta sign.
Oh, I mean, I like what Steve, I
So-
like what Mr. Joe Ferron was saying, I ain't gonna lie, I get
So-
that
So you
principle.
agree, you're recommending 5 feet off the corner of the house, come straight all the way back, Mr. Jeffron?
I think,
Just splitting the difference between the two. What were we talking, you said it was 11 point something?
And so five something, yeah.
13. So basically, the 10-foot, you would just say you're gonna, where we'd be looking for a 5-foot variance.
5 foot variance, okay.
Lance, you have any problems with that, or?
6 and 5.
Okay.
Really need a 5.5 foot variance.
Oh, if you're going to the corner of the house?
No, I'm just, this line right here.
Yeah.
Split the difference there.
Yeah, I thought it was a 10, I thought he was requesting 9 on a 10-foot, yeah.
Is that what it is? Oh, I'm
Yeah.
sorry, okay.
So basically, it would be just a 5-foot variance.
Yeah.
So you're asking for a 5 foot variance on each lot though, not just one lot?
Oh, yeah, just
Yeah,
asking for a
yeah.
5 foot
5 foot
variance
on
on the house.
A8, 1 and A7, 1.
Yeah, we just have to make the variance for A7, because that's what's on the.
You make both variance on
It's
both
both
of them,
houses.
both
Both
lots.
lots.
Do we add the other one in?
You're asking for variance on both lots. Now, if you do, if we move that line in, you're asking, we gotta ask for variance on both lots, not
Yes,
just
okay.
one. Because it's zoned rural, so you gotta be 10 foot. So if you're asking for 5, then we gotta do variance on both of those lines.
So do we add that? Do we add in the
I'm,
A?
I'm looking to Lance for an answer. on how-
And I'm
And I'm
understanding.
looking at Spencer for an answer. It was,
Because then it might be just.
No, I think we would, both property owners would need to make an application
Yeah.
for the variance. We can't just
Although this was
do
full
it
building.
ourselves.
This is for A7.
So we have to come back at another meeting?
Yeah, pretty much.
Well, let's just do this one. So they can move in, they're waiting to move in this house. And we could write a note on the plat saying if the shed's ever torn down, then it has to be 10 foot away from the property line, then it meets all the variances and the variance would fall off.
Is this gonna be is this house for you guys?
No.
No, okay.
It's for
He's
you.
just representing the,
No, I like that idea,
Interest.
because
It's for you, sir?
we could put it to where if the shed's ever tore down, then the variance goes away, make a note on the plat, so if the shed ever tears down, then they have to be 10 foot away from the property line, and then there's no variance requested. No variance will be needed.
It's too much. I'm sorry. I just feel like some homework should have probably been done. I'm sorry, but I'm going to make a motion to deny. So I think that there needs to be more discussion to get this right.
I'll second that.
All right, we got a motion by Mr. Brandon Bennett to deny, second by Mr. Eddie Kraus. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, sorry.
no.
Okay, we need a roll call?
And just for the record, Chairman, you need a vote too.
Huh?
You'll have to vote.
You need a vote too.
Why, it's not a tie.
But we need a quorum voting.
There's 4 of us, so.
Then I'm gonna make it a tie.
So then it's a tie, then we have to make a sub-motion.
Ty is approved.
So, yeah, I'm with Devin, so I make it a tie. So now what we do?
Someone else.
We just make a note on the plat that if the shed's ever torn down, then it has to be 10
Just
foot away from
need
the
to
property
Make another
line.
motion then, so we can move it forward. Do we need to do actual, go through as far as the yays and nays for the record?
If it's gonna be a denial, yes.
Okay.
So we need a roll call?
Yeah, we need a roll call.
Me?
I thought you called roll. No?
You gotta call the roll.
Roll call.
Mr. Brandon Bennett,
Yay.
Mr. Eddie Kraus,
Yay.
Mr. Devin Graham,
Nay.
and Steve Joe Ferone votes nay.
Mr. Willie said yay. It passes.
So what you got, new motion?
Well, I mean, so the point is that if what you have drawn today only requires the variance for lot 7, correct? And
I mean, I'm willing to put the 5 foot, whatever
but if we did
servitude or
that,
something that you want, if
would we have
that
to
makes it
approve that,
pass
or would that have to go
tonight.
to planning? I'm sorry, I didn't mean to talk
No
over you.
problem.
Could we make that approval with the 5-foot servitude, or would we have to come back and do it?
no, you can do it.
Okay. I know it's a secondary, in my opinion, it's a secondary structure. I grew up in the Central Parish where sheds and barns were built on property lines right next to the barbed wire fences. This is a pretty rural area, and I understand the mistake. We've seen it here in this board in many forms of the years I've been here. So I'd make a motion to approve with the condition that there's a 5-foot private servitude along to allow that gentleman to ever do any painting or work on the shed itself, roofing or anything like that, he has that access. And also with the condition that the variance disappears if said building, current existing building was ever to be demolished, and it doesn't extend to any additions. So any additions to the shed along that property line cannot be permitted.
Okay, so we got a motion by Mr. Devin Graham that I can't repeat.
You
so
got all that?
Y'all got it?
Hopefully the recorder's working. Can I get a second?
I'll second.
Second by Mr. Brandon Bennett, all in favor?
Aye.
All right, thank y'all.
That motion passes.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Happy
You too, man.
Thanksgiving, Mr. Falgood, thank you. All right, next on the agenda, we have zoning review ID PZ 2767.21, lot H1A1. Somebody here represent that property? Nope,
Okay.
okay. Are we looking for Toby Luquette?
This is for the Parker one, right? Yeah. So just. Not here.
Not here,
It doesn't look like the applicant's here.
okay.
So can we make a motion just to push it to the next meeting or motion to deny?
I would say pass it to the next meeting.
Okay, I'll make a motion to pass to the December meeting.
Have a motion on the table, Mr. Brandon Bennett to pass.
Second.
Second by Devin Graham. All in favor? That motion passes. Let's see, where am I? Okay, next on the agenda, we have zoning review ID PZ 276721. Nope, wrong, sorry. I'm lost. Paper.
Got it.
What the hell? Nope.
2767 was the last one that was pushed.
All right, I got it now.
2768. It's the one with the property
Okay,
and water.
we have zoning review ID PZ 2768.21, lot 13 of Cypress Cove for Bo and Tracy Gotro. Step on up, tell us what you got, please.
Well, I don't have anything with me in order to show, but I had compiled a package
Yes.
kind of explaining the size of the lot. It's a half-acre lot. A road does go through a corner of it, and it restricts the amount of area in which to build upon. So I guess long story short, the height variance in which to build in Ascension Parish is 35 feet. And looking at the style of house in which we're looking to build, we're required to build 7 feet off the ground, but we're choosing to build 10 feet off the ground just for usable area underneath, as well as just be well clear of the floodplain. And then building a 2-story house due to the size of the lot itself. And then a nice roof pitch would put us over the 35-foot mark. Now, we're still in the planning stage of what our plans would be. All we have is a floor plan right now, and coming across this is what held us up. So we're looking at approximately 42 feet of height on our house, and we're asking for a variance up to 45 just to make sure that we could build what we want. Not saying I'm gonna go up that high. It's looking like 42 feet.
Okay. All right. Any questions from the board? Any comments?
So you're asking for 10, right?
Yeah.
You're asking for a variance of 10 feet?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
I got a question for you. Looking at this picture, I can't really tell. I'm still not straight. Hold on, give me a second. Where this lot is, does the land slope down or it's pretty flat all over?
It's pretty flat, and then about, the edge of the property starts sloping about approximately 8 to 9 feet away from the water line, and it slopes down at probably a 45-degree angle.
So you building up on top on the?
Oh yeah, we're building, I want to say 20 feet away from the water on one side and probably another 50 or 60 feet away from the water on the front side. So we'll be in and back.
But you're not down the hill, you're up
No.
on top of the hill? Okay.
Correct, yes,
All right.
yes. It's all fairly flat right there
Okay.
and
I believe
high.
that's why y'all wanted to do this 2-story, right?
Correct, yeah, just because of the size of the buildable property.
Okay, we need to open up for public hearing.
Nobody signed up.
Okay, close public hearing. Any questions, motions, comments?
I'll make a motion to accept.
I have a second.
Motion by Mr. Brandon Bennett, second by Mr. Eddie Kraus, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes.
Thank y'all very much. So where do we go from here? Do we just get,
That
okay.
man right there.
Take care.
Thank you.
Yep. Okay, let's see, now, we have,
She did say, for new business, yeah, here you go.
Yeah, it's just asking who will be here next month.
okay. All right, next up, we have, any old business? Nope, no old business. Any new business? We do. And, it's gonna be hard to get a head count because not all are here.
Yeah, not everyone's here.
Is there what's the agenda look like? Do you already have?
So far, we've got one, and then the one that y'all deferred tonight. So we'll have two.
I won't be here for the next meeting.
I plan to be.
What is the date?
The 28th.
It's the 28th.
I'll be here. I plan to be.
I'll make it. We'll make it.
About you, Lance?
I'll be here.
All right. Spencer? Nope, you been at duck camp? Right on. Okay. Well,
Hey, just out of curiosity, if the next meeting, if we defer it again, does that one pass? Is that how that worked?
No, it doesn't work like that, no,
Okay, I thought, but at one time it did, huh?
no.
No. All right, cool. Just curious.
okay, well, we'll try and get you updated, when we hear from the other members that are not present tonight.
Okay.
All right, next up, can I get a motion to adjourn?
Make it, oh,
Second?
Motion by Mr. Eddie Kraus to adjourn, second by Devin Graham, all in favor? Aye. Aye, all right. Happy Thanksgiving.
Definitely.